Hi folks, and welcome back to part 3 of my Fizzy restoration, if you want to call it that. As you can see, I've been stripping it down. I'm going to show you what I've actually been through at the moment, so bear with me. So a couple of little things have come to mind. First of all, I was going to get the frame powder coated. I'm not doing that now. I'm going to get that painted with paint and obviously lacquered over the top as well. Seems like the proper things to go, and you think so too in the comment section. Also, on the other side, where that other side panel had the key on, I've actually removed that now, and that did come off of an earlier model one, so that's gone now, and I won't be putting that back on as well. Now, you can see the state of the wiring loom there. It's obviously someone's had a right go at this. It's got all different connectors on it, so I've got another loom, which I've bought the main part of the loom anyway, so there's that. And also, in the back here, when I took the rear lights off, there's plenty of duct tape on there, with just cables twisted together, so that's one of the things I've actually come up against as well. So a lot of people said, oh, you don't want to be going and doing all that restoration, you're probably taking away the soul from the bike. No, it ain't. It's still going to be a Fizzy, and it's also basically getting repaired with all these little things that are all out of sight basically. So I'm not worried about that whatsoever. It's the right way to go in my eyes. So looking around, as you can see, the engine is now out. I've got a box full of parts there which have got to be attended to, cleaned up, refurbished or whatever. Still got some more stripping down to do, as you can see. So let's get this thing stripped down. I'll see you in a minute. So looking at this frame, I'm sure you can see that it has been hand painted and it doesn't look very good. So that will all be consistent now, one coat, and also lacquered over. I'll be happier with that. And even down to things like the engine casings, I don't know whether to get these stove enamelled or powder coated, not too sure yet. The cables obviously are going to need attention, so as you can see, things like there, the pedal mechanisms and all that are all sort of manky basically, so that can all be addressed. Brake levers, all that sort of stuff can be repainted. Coming around the front here, the caliper can be removed, which I'm going to do obviously, and that can be repainted. New seals in, new logo on the front. That decal you can get. I'll probably end up stripping the forks down and also powder coating them, refurbishing them as well. Now the wheels actually look very, very good. I don't think these are original because the chrome is so bright on them. It just needs a basic clean up, so that's what I'll be doing with them. Looking around here, again, things like the black on the controls and all that, they can all be painted. That's going to need helicoil in, put a new thread in there because that's gone. But as I say, all this sort of thing is keeping the originality of the bike. Things like that can be repainted. I'll probably keep the handlebars, and as I say, just refurbish all the fixings on there. So that's what I'm going to be doing there. So coming around the back there, as you can see, it's had a reproduction mudguard on it. I think the back light might be reproduction as well. So and the number plate bracket, so that just probably needs a repaint. And yeah, so the engine bar, someone said they didn't think they was original. Well, they was on a DX model in 1977 and 76. My one had that as well, so I know they are original, and you can buy them as well. The earlier models didn't have them, like the 73, 74s and 75s, I don't think, the pre-Kenny Roberts ones, but they definitely had it on the DX model, as mine is. So all I'll do is I'll paint them, and things like the airbox as well, that can get powder coated in silver. Walking around the back there, the other things I'm going to be doing obviously is just tidying the thing up basically, keeping all the original parts that are original on there. So I'm really looking forward to doing this bike. As I say, I'm just pumping it up now, bringing it up to level. That is definitely coming off. As I say, I have got a new panel now, a new side panel which I've sourced, and also 2 new knobs to go on that. So that one obviously is incorrect, and that, as I say, is coming off. So that's just something which will put it back to original, so to speak. And someone's actually taken all the innards out of that. That would have been an ignition switch at one stage. So that, as I say, is redundant now. Things like the foot pegs also look new as well. And as you can see, I've bought some new containers there to put the parts in, just to make life a lot easier. Okay, so this is a typical example of why you really want to be going down and doing the sort of restoration which I am doing. I've just pulled this out of the frame, and all it was there with a bit of a gaffer tape, the connections to this rear light, and look, just sort of twisted together. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go through the whole thing, because you can't rely on sort of connections like that. So that's again half of the reason why I wanted to do this sort of sympathetic restoration, to make sure that all the parts are at least got the connections correctly or whatever, because you don't know who's been in here before. So just stripping these bits off and coming into where the light looms was. As I say, there were so many blinking alterations in here with added cables that have just been twisted together. So the main looms are sort of pretty much intact, but someone Scotch-Brighted in there, as you can see. That's not an original connector coming off of the ignition terminal. So again, until you strip all this stuff down, you don't know what other people have done. So you know, that's the whole reason for doing this restoration. So right, I'm going to carry on now, stripping down. Right, here we go. This is the start of it all, folks, and starting off just unbolting stuff, basically. The last time I restored a bike was probably 15 years ago. I think I had an RD400F, which I stripped right the way down and rebuilt, and if I find a picture of that, I'll put it on here for you, but I don't know if I've still got that picture. I did sell it a few years ago, but all in all it is basically is just unbolting this stuff. And I've never stripped a Fizzy down before, so although I've got a manual, I probably need the manual for when I'm putting it back together again, because I say most of it's just sort of common sense. It's only a small bike really, so just using a bit of common sense. Yeah, that looks like definitely a reproduction mudguard there, because it's very, very clean, no signs of any rust on it whatsoever. So basically, a lot of these parts are literally just going to get refurbished. They're still going to stay there. I know I've bought another exhaust for it, and someone did say, oh, that'll rust out in 6 months. I've never seen any exhaust rust out in 6 months, to be honest with you. But it's there anyway. I've got that as a replacement, and I think you'll find that when it's all done, it will look as original. So there'll be no problems with sourcing parts for this, because there's plenty of people out there who sell parts for the Fizzys. And although they are quite expensive, though, you know, you've got to pay top dollar if you need any parts. Lucky enough, I don't think I actually need any major parts apart from serviceable items. The only thing I did buy was the side panel so far, which I think cost me about 55 quid just for one side panel. The exhaust was obviously a pattern, so that come in at, well, 80 quid I think, something like that. But most of the parts just need cleaning, sandblasting and repainting, so the rest of them are going to be serviceable items. Right, okay, so I'm doing pretty well at the moment, and I think there's only 2 engine bolts that hold the engine in place, both are 13mm. I've undone the top one, which is also the one that holds the brake switch as well. I've got this one at the bottom here, so I'm presuming that these are the only 2 that hold the engine in. So I've left the top one in as a matter of pivoting, so the engine don't drop forward on my hand. So I'm just going to undo this one first and leave the top bolt in, although it's undone, and hopefully, if I've got this right, the engine should come out. I've only pinched my fingers once, so I'm happy with that. But that has to be the main finger which I'm doing stuff with. So, right, so let's just give that a bit of a wiggle. Right, take that bottom one right out, like that. Now I've still got the chain connected, I've only just realised that. So, whether or not there's enough slack for it to drop off, let me go and have a check. I'm not too sure. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try it. Let's get you up in the air and a bit further back so you can see exactly what's going on. So I don't know whether the chain's got to come off. So let's pull that bolt out. Like that. That's the top one. Now, I bet the chain's got to come off in it. I haven't done any loom at the moment to the engine, so I might have to do that. Let's go around the other side and have a look. Right, I do believe it's the chain holding that in now, so there is a wiring loom there which shoots up. Hello, there's another connector there, look, with a bit of tape on it. That's an inline connector, I think, is it? No, that's a spade. There we go, so someone's been in there before. I don't know how far down I can pull that, or has it got to come up this way? Let's have a look here. Right, that's that one there, so there's these cables there that we've got to be disconnected. I'm not making a note of all these because it won't work in the loom anyway, so that should be able to pull out now, which it does. So I'll tell you what, there is a king link there for this chain. I wonder if I can just get that off. There we go. Don't ping across the blinking floor. Like that. And take the cap off. Easier said than done. No, that's coming off all right. And then push the link out. And that should, hopefully, mean the engine can just drop out like that. So it was holding it on. Well, that was a nice and easy job. How not to remove the Fizzy engine with the engine bolts out and just resting on the chain. So there it is, folks. That's it there. Oh, got the throttle cable still connected. Bear with me. Phillips screwdriver. Just take that off of there for the moment. It should pull out, hopefully. There we go. I'm hoping that I can pull this through here. If not, then I've got to take the other end off. Ah, there we go. That's it. Engine out. So there we go, folks. That's the Fizzy engine out. I'm going to keep that in one piece for the moment and have a bit of a clear up. Time now is 20 to 6. So I'm going to tidy up, go inside, have my tea, go and have a wash, and I'll continue this another day. So you're going to see that a little bit further on. I've got to go away for about 11 days now, so I'm not going to be here. So look out for the next video, and we'll see you then, and we'll start getting this Fizzy segmented up. Parts that have got to be painted, parts that have got to be sent away for sandblasting, stuff like that, and refurbishment. So that should be coming up in the near future. Keep an eye out, folks. Don't forget to have a little look at my other videos as well. I've got other motorbike restorations, I've got lawnmower restorations, car repairs, all that sort of stuff. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button and ring the little notification bell. Set your preferences to all, that way you'll get notified every time I upload a video. Thanks very much. We'll see you in the next video, and until then, bye for now.